Well, hello everybody. I definitely did not mean to start this stream so early, but apparently I can't figure out my my stuff here. So, we're just going to start early. And it's been actually a while since I've done a live stream. I was just messing with the settings here for like an hour from now so I could start this live stream later, but I am inept with my own technology. So, yeah, we'll just talk. We'll talk for a little bit. So, thank you all for being here. And I know this is strange, really out of the blue. I am so sorry that, yeah, this is coming from nowhere. I'll have to explain this to Nerd of the Rings and Voice of the Rings when they get on. But how is everybody? I am way earlier than the people I'm playing with, so we're gonna play with them in like in an hour and a half here. Well, hour and 10 minutes, but whoops. How's it going, everybody? Good to talk to you all. Can you hear me all right? I guess this is a good time to test my settings here. I'll shoot them a message here. Well, sorry. Accidentally started my live stream early. Yeah, this isn't even the first live stream where I've done something like this. Like, actually, it was a year and like a month or two ago where I tried to live stream, but then I couldn't. So this is a better problem to have where I accidentally started early. Lofts and Forges. Hello, everyone. Good to hear you. Well, I guess to see all your comments and everything. Let me go ahead and readjust here as everybody starts to log in. I'm just gonna post this link to the live stream and just say I accidentally started going live early. So, let me know, what are you guys thinking about the show so far? Again, we haven't talked in a little while. Roy and I, we're going to do a full season wrap up live stream at the end of the season. So like I think sometime the week after the season ends. So I'll definitely see you all again then. But man, I was not ready for this. So please bear with me here as as I trip over my own technology. Hey everyone, I accidentally started to go live for hang out. There we go. Sorry about this. I know this is really not professional at all. I just got home from my grad school stuff, but yeah, so let's go through some of your comments. What do you all have thought, seen my thoughts on the last couple episodes. We got episode 4 coming out tonight. Let's see here. And then I'll pull up, when I'm done making some posts, I'll pull up Lord of the Rings Online, and we can get this going here very soon. Hello, everyone. Hello. Thanks so much for being here, even though I hardly knew that I was going to be here this early. Let's see. Online college dropout. We'll start with you. Numenor is the best part. I think between Numenor and the dwarves for me is the dwarves of Khazad-dûm. I think one of those two is the best for me. Dr. No says, without respect, we reject. And that is totally understandable. Yeah, I totally get that, for sure. I guess while we're at it, let me pull up my Valar tier patrons here and give them a shout out real fast. I don't know if I'll have much time later when Nerd of the Rings and Voice of the Rings join. So real fast, just in general, thank you so much to our Valar tier patrons: Peter Sheppard, Jonathan Putnam, Mark Kralick, Blair Scouten, Merten, John Hume, Sam McBee, Matt Sibbach, Elizabeth Calvert, Maz Gibs, Rhys Jenkins, Adam Petrlik, Brandon Glidden, Molly Sullivan, Daniel Burns, Anthony Harmon, Dorwin Gray, Arthur Merlin, DJ Vaught, and Dale Davis. Thank you all so much. Had to at least throw that out here once during this live stream. I'm curious what Matt and Zollin say about me starting an hour early. Well, whatever. My bad. Let's see. Alexi S says, for me, the show so far is very underwhelming. It's just nothing special in my opinion, not Tolkien enough, but the dwarves are probably the best thing in this series. Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. That's very, it seems very moderate where you kind of landed. That's where I would say I'm very moderate to displeased, right? My ratings reflect that. I think I gave the last episode a 6.5, and that was only because I thought the last episode was better than the first episode, which I gave a 6 to, and then episode 2 I gave a 4 to. I ended up landing on a 4. Pulling up LOTRO right now, so... Ricky Bobby, Men of the West channel could do a better job. Thank you. I could, as I scatterbrain start a live stream an hour early. You're right. I could. Tony Raddick says, I think Halbrand will be one of the Nazgul and Adar is not Sauron 100%. I think that, yeah, I would say that lines up with kind of what I'm thinking as well. Because why would, my only thing is if Halbrand is Sauron, why would he ever save Galadriel from drowning like he did 2 weeks ago? You know, it's like one of your worst mortal enemies is drowning. Why would you save her? So, all right, logging into LOTRO here. Hey Zohir, I'm so sorry, I'm probably butchering your name, but thank you so much. Hi from Algeria. Hi from the United States. Good to see you all. Let me maybe see if this is... Nope, not working quite yet. A full screen application, is that right? Specific window. Good times. Again, you could see that I wasn't quite ready for this, but... Josh Jones says, Man of the West, don't you think elves should be majestic, like a mixture between angels and humans, gracious and powerful, not angry and overbearing, but joyful, while a bit sad? I would agree with that, definitely, for the most part. There were certainly some elves that were very angry. We're seeing a lot of Feanor in Galadriel right now. So, and that, I would say, you know, that isn't quite... That's not quite her character, of course, because they butted heads in the lore, and not because of that. Nerd. Hey, Matt. Yoiston, I know, I'll get a jump on them and start my stream early. No, it's... I just, like, went to prep my own live stream. I wasn't even planning originally to live stream myself. I was just going to join Matt. I was like, you know, I'll make my own. And then it was like, you're live. I was like, oh, all right. I did it twice, too. I had to delete the first one, so that's all right. Yep, Nerd and Voice are coming to the stream. Also, Yoiston, nice to hear your voice and enjoy your poetic video intros. Thanks, Vito. I'm not sure this one was very poetic, but thank you for sure. I tried to, in general, get that, get the essence of Tolkien with my videos. So let me try to figure out... how to get this LOTRO live game capture. So if I doesn't seem to be liking my capture, but we can keep talking about Rings of Power for sure in the meantime. Yeah, Feanor influence. Like, yeah, Galadriel and Feanor definitely butted heads. Like, Galadriel was arrogant. She was headstrong. She was wanting to rule her own realm. She had her reasons for joining the exile of the Noldor, but she's definitely very different from Feanor at the same time. And I am just hoping that that is something that the writing understands, is that she's not this fierce, angry... What did she say? There's a tempest in me. I'm like, I don't know if I'd go that far. Simon Moston, Feanor is the exact opposite of Galadriel. Tolkien modeled Galadriel as the Virgin Mother. That makes sense. I'm trying to reflect on that. Tolkien modeled Galadriel as the Virgin Mother. Yeah. Yeah, I would say definitely that around that archetype. Granted, a lot of I think his female characters had that archetype too, to a varying degree. Either it was the love beyond redress, like the love that's beyond your station, the sort of Romeo and Juliet, like Aragorn, Arwen, Beren, and Luthien sort of thing. He either had that for a lot of his female characters, or this more motherly, gracious, virtuous sort of feminine figure. Thanks for giving life to these works over the years. Thoroughly been enjoying it. Thank you so much for watching. I mean, that means a lot. I'm very glad to hear that. Epic Kingdom, good to see you. Good to see you. How's it going? Kelly Davidson, the Virgin was meek and mild and accepting. Does that sound like Galadriel? I don't know if I'd agree with that that portrayal of the archetype. I think the archetype is mostly the strength of a mother who has to, who gives advice, who is powerful and nurturing in her own way, but right gives Lothlorien its strength. And you can come and rest in Lothlorien for a time, but then you have to go off. You have to go on your adventure. So I definitely get that comparison. Personally, I have enjoyed watching the Nerd of the Rings and Men of the West streams more than the show. And to be fair, I had no intention of even watching the show. Well, I'm glad. Thanks for that. I'm glad at least we could give you that. But I don't know. I think there's some things to enjoy about the show. It's not wholly bad, right? It's hard for anything to be entirely bad. It's just, it diverges away from Tolkien's works in many more ways than I would have hoped. All right, Zollin will be joining us soon-ish as well. Adar is obviously Sauron. I don't know. I actually think because that elf was like, ooh, Adar, could this be Sauron? Like, that was the first thing that one of those elves from the last episode before he died from that warg or got shot by arrows or whatever it was. He said that, which makes me think he's actually, Adar is probably not Sauron. I really have this odd feeling that he'll be a corrupted elf, and I'm really hoping that he's not supposed to be Finrod, who's a corrupted elf, because that would upset me quite a bit, because I love Finrod. He's my favorite elf in the Legendarium. So if that happens to be him, yeah, that'll be kind of rough. No, it's still not capturing the game. Oh, sorry, there's one I wanted to... Wolfismo. Men of the West, who do you think the stranger with the Hobbit kids is? I feel like that's the $1 million question right now. It's such a weird character. I'm with Matt in leaning towards he's likely got to be a wizard, right? He's got to be a wizard of some kind. He's got a power, or a Maya of some kind, right? Because that would make the most sense with how, not only how he's dressed, but how his archetype interacts with the Hobbit archetype. However, the thing that gets me about the wizard aspect, or a fallen Maya aspect, I mean, it has to be some sort of fallen, because you see all of the corruption that came with him, the fire that was cold. There are some evil intentions that come with him, so. Bradman, thank you so much for the super chat. That means a lot. Galadriel's on a mission of vengeance, but don't elves get reincarnated? So shouldn't Galadriel just either wait for her brother and not jump off the boat? Well, yeah, no, you're right on a number of, just for a number of reasons. So she should not have jumped off the boat because there's no way that she could make that swim without fate intervening to save her, as it, of course, did. But I brought this up on a live stream over on Chris, the Philosopher Games, Chris's channel, yesterday. It's like, she could just swim back from Numenor if she thought she could swim back from Valinor, right? So what's holding her back? But ultimately, I think, yes, Finrod is reincarnated. Actually, right now in the lore, as far as I would be able to tell, it's because in the Silmarillion it says he walks with his father beneath the trees in Eldamar. And so if that's true, then he's already been reincarnated. So Galadriel, her vengeance has less to do, I think, with Finrod dying and more with that was Finrod's mission and now it's her mission. Again, the show got Finrod wrong right off the bat, and that put a sour taste in my mouth because Finrod was not about vengeance. He was about protecting. The reason he died from a werewolf was because he was protecting Beren. It wasn't because he was trying to fight Sauron. So, yeah. I hope that answers your question. Scott says, non-Tolkienism aside, the show is poor on multiple levels. Show don't tell is writing 101. This show is all tell. I absolutely agree. Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. And for those of you who are just joining, thanks for coming. Nerd of the Rings and Voice of the Rings will be here soon. I accidentally started this live stream way too early. They'll be on in an hour or less. But in the meantime, I'm trying to get some settings and things figured out. I need to add their channels to my description here. So I'm kind of all over the place because this live stream just kind of started. And I said, you know what? That's fine. Nerd of the Rings. Yeah, go subscribe to Nerd of the Rings for some awesome lore content for watch parties. He's got one later tonight. For many great things on his channel. Go check him out. And check out Voice of the Rings for Lord of the Rings online content. And just for content that generally kind of takes you away from the worries of the world. Adding them to the description really fast. But yeah, everybody who just joined, let me know what your thoughts are on the show, because that's kind of that's the big topic tonight, I think. I have a feeling, even as we start the stream for LOTRO, that we're going to be talking a lot about the show. Adam Stala, thank you so much for the super chat. That really means a lot. Which Hobbit clan do you think that the hobbits are ancestors of? So yeah, actually that one's a good question. That one's pretty easy. So one of the three clans of the hobbits is Harfoots. So you've got the Stoors, the Harfoots, and the Followhides. These are Harfoots, right? So at least we know that they're of the three. They're that one. So yeah. However, does it fit the lore? Hi Angel, thanks for being here. Thanks for moderating. Up from the lore though, does that really make sense? Nah. Nope. DM, Men of the West is super Tolkien smart, but also fun. Thanks. Thank you so much. I try to be. I'm kind of all over the place. Right now I'm going through grad school, and I'm doing student teaching a lot through the weeks. So I got home from student teaching 2 hours ago, and the mind is just frazzled. I wasn't even prepared yet in terms of my stuff. I'll probably have to mute myself at some point to go get a drink or something before we get started with Matt and Zollin, but glad to talk to you all beforehand too. It's been a while since we had a live stream. Nate Phillip, it might be, I'm not sure if this would be surprising. My major in undergrad was political science, and I was a history and philosophy minor as well, so I've been able to kind of jump around in the social studies field. But Bread98, thank you so much for the super chat. That means a lot. Think we might get an origin story in the Nazgul. I think that's very possible. Back when Roy and I reviewed the posters that they released for the show, one of them, I think it's the Adar one, that looks like a Nazgul gauntlet. Like, Royan kept saying, "Oh, that's the Witch Kings," and I'm like, yeah, it definitely looks like it. So, Epic Kingdom, Amazon has the rights to a very small amount of lore, so it's not surprising that they're adding in a bunch of their own stuff. Absolutely. But the whole thing, that defense is only so strong for anything, because then it always comes back down to, okay, if you don't have the rights to it, why would you make a show about it? That's what I would always say. It's like, why try to paint the Mona Lisa if you've only got access to half the colors? It's like, it's just not even worth it. So, well, Google is talking in the other room. Sounds good. Sounds about right. Talks too much. Thank you so much for the super chat. I sat down to give Rings of Power an honest try, but couldn't make it 20 minutes before I turned it off. Really excited for the Kingdoms of Arda mod. I don't blame you. Those first 20 minutes were pretty rough. Not gonna lie. Kingdoms of Arda mod. Yeah, there's so many cool things to look forward to. I like the Total War mods and stuff for Lord of the Rings. I also am super excited for whenever they release Battle for Middle-earth Reforged. Yes, super excited. Adam Stahl, thank you so much for another super chat. It means a lot. Do you think we'll see Foehammer soon? I'm curious if some of our fears are realized about the Stranger and he turns out to be Gandalf. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. Yeah, Battle for Middle-earth Reforged, George 1562. Yep, that, I think it's, I can't remember if it's Battle for Middle-earth 1 or 2 that's being reforged and redone, but The remaster looks so good. So good. I hope they don't really change a lot of it, but just add updated graphics, maybe a couple updated mechanics to fix some of the bugs, but that would be awesome. Whoops, not that. Sorry, I'm still very much trying to get set here before... Let me see. I think I can close that. But yeah, for everyone just joining us, thank you so much for being here. Let me know what thoughts you guys have on the show. Online College Dropout. That's a very generous donation. Thank you so much. That means a lot. Do you think the Rings of Power showrunners were attempting to appeal to normies and Tolkienians? That's what it looks like to me. The recipe for success was there, and Amazon just isn't having it. Attempting... The Tolkienians one I've had a problem with. So if it feels very general audience-y, but that's the thing, is it's so deep lore that part of me questions, right? It's like, oh, was this meant for deeper Tolkien fans, right? Like us, right? The people that want to watch a 10-minute video on Owlay the Smith or whatever it is. It's like, was this made for us? I don't know. Because they didn't really... Their marketing has been horrible for this show. Just absolutely awful. They could have done much more on Tolkien Reading Day. They could have interacted more with fans. My friends, those channels like Matt from Nerd of the Rings, those friends that went out there to London and saw what Rings of Power showed them out there and everything like that, I feel like Amazon should have... So they knew that, you know, all these channels and people were going to go make videos about, like, first impressions and how's this show actually going to turn out and all that kind of stuff. They were going to do that. But the problem was that Amazon didn't release any trailers or anything to back them up. So we had to go on their word. Since I'm friends with these creators and all of that, I went off their word, right? I trust them very much. But I do wish that they would have been like, okay, you know, Nerd of the Rings and all of these Tolkien creators are going to speak about what they saw out here in London. Let's also release a trailer to back them up. Let's not leave them hanging. But they got left hanging. That was unfortunate. And now a lot of this Amazon stuff has kind of been back or forth depending on, like, what am I trying to say here? The Amazon stuff really, if the show isn't good, I hope it doesn't hurt their channels, because from what they were shown, it likely looked good, right? And they, you know, because of NDAs and all that kind of stuff, they can only talk about so much of it. And I am only talking about what they have talked about, just to make that part clear as well. But from what they have discussed, it's like, I do wish Amazon backed them up a little bit more and said, hey, this is some of what we showed these creators, right? It's not really behind too much of a wall. You guys judge it for yourselves. But I don't know if they're really trying to appeal much to the deeper Tolkien fans as much as just general audiences, because Tolkien fans aren't going to make them back like $1 billion on the show, but general audiences might. I'm very curious to see what the number is for that, what they are able to get back. Whoops. Nope, that's not it. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to figure out how to stream Lord of the Rings online. My old version of the application didn't work, but... Brandon. Hi, Men of the West. Did Tolkien talk about kingdoms, clans, tribes of men that make up Gondor? I mean, during Numenor, since Gondor wasn't all Numenorian. That's a great question, and thank you so much for the super chat. That means a lot. The tribes that made up Gondor. So, yeah, to an extent. What you have here is in Gondor. Sorry, there's a lot of chat. What you have in Gondor is you have some men that lived there before, some that were actually kind of more or less pre-conquered by Numenorians. Conquered or colonized, I guess I could say. And specific window, Lord of the Rings Online. Let me see if that works. No? Dang it. You had, these people that lived there beforehand, they were men of Middle-earth, and then the Numenorians kind of mixed with them. You had men from, likely, the tribes of Rovanion and maybe the Southlands that kind of maybe migrated to Mordor. You also likely had some Druidine, some of the Woses, the Men of the Woods, that lived there. So yeah, I hope that helps answer your questions, because I'm just trying to think. It was definitely he doesn't go into much detail about these men, but I imagine since you have the Dunlendings who lived in Calanarthon before the settling of Gondor as well, or likely that lived there before the settling of Gondor, that you would have men similar to them in other parts of Gondor. Dat Junt, thank you so much again for a super chat. It means a lot. Celebrimbor is going to make you an elvish weapon. What would it be and what would you name it? Ooh. Well, for the longest time, I'd show you if I could get my Lord of the Rings Online to appear here. But my main character on Lord of the Rings Online had this sword called Nimloth the Fair. And it was this first age weapon. I think something like that. Maybe it would likely be a 1.5-handed sword that I could use either with a shield or just two-handed. That would be an elvish sword, Nimloth the Fair. Okay, let me capture a specific window, and then it's just dark. I don't need my Photoshop for the thumbnail. I don't need that. Guys, this is what professional YouTubing looks like. It looks like just trying to talk to your chat while you are on OBS Studios trying to figure out how to stream a game. No, it's really good talking to you all. Brandon Marshall, no Smith in Middle-earth is as talented as Everyoy. Thank you so much, Everyoy. He did build a lot of weapons. Good to see you, Brandon. Josh Jones, hobbits aren't supposed to be in Middle-earth till 1000 of Third Age either. At least Tolkien wrote hobbits were first observed at the headwaters of Anduin River. Yes, granted, so you could make the argument through the frame narrative that Bilbo provides us through the Red Book of Westmarch that the hobbits that were spotted there, those were the first that were actually observed by big men, or by the big folk, by men. And it could be that hobbits were around for a lot longer. To be fair, to this idea that hobbits were around a lot longer and just had never been spotted. But what is the likelihood of that? I'll leave that all to you to decide. Tell me about it. I can't tell you how often I've bungled recording or live streaming something. It's so funny. Like, it sucks when it's happening. To be fair, it happens once and you're like, oh, that was awful. Happens again and you're like, well, I'm only human. I'm trying to make it work. Any full screen app, but I feel like that'll just grab. Anyway, let me go back to chat here. How high are you guys in Crick Hollow? I think we're only we're in the teens. We're like level 13 or something. It's been a while. Lore aside. Yeah, what are your opinions on Rings of Power lore aside? Putting lore aside, it's definitely better, but it's not great still. I would say there are other better shows on television, even right now. I think House of the Dragon is a better put-together show than Rings of Power. Even putting the lore aside, I would say that is better. Because it has consistency, it has a coherent narrative, and also it follows rules that it established for itself within the Game of Thrones universe. I have never... Galadriel jumping off the ship to swim to wherever she was swimming to, that was like, wow, okay, these writers don't know how swimming works, or something. Like, I'm not trying to be mean. Much respect to the writers for trying to take something like this on, and I'm not just trying to be mean here, but it is one thing where, again, it's like trying to swim from Hawaii to California. It's like, okay, writers, what's the play here? Why do that? Royan, I think... No, it wasn't Royan. It was, I think it was actually Matt, Nerd of the Rings, that said you could have just as easily had them go right to Numenor, had Galadriel and Halbrand go right to Numenor, sent as emissaries by Gil-galad. Like, you don't have to have this big jumping off moment and her swimming through the ocean. Like, it's things like that. That is one moment of many, for sure. But if the writers, what is the logic? What rules of fantasy are we playing with? It's great to have to have a show set in a fantasy realm, that's great. But you have to establish rules, and you have to play by those rules. So, yeah. I know Critical Drinker was talking about this at a different review channel. I try to watch and hear reviews from all sides of the spectrum concerning this show, and I know he made a really great point with that. It's like you have to establish rules from within your universe and from within your writing, and stick by those rules, because if you don't, why can't Godzilla come in and save Galadriel? It's something like he said, it's Fet Main the Third. Oh, let me make sure I didn't miss a... Okay, I don't think I missed a super chat. Okay. Nerdrotic's channel. Much appreciation to Nerdrotic's channel. I would struggle to go on to Gary's channel, though, if he would even have me, because he's very in the culture war, in the politics stuff. Even though I study political science and I teach, I'm going to teach government, I don't really want to contribute to that. Not here, not on this channel. This channel is very divorced from the politics and the culture war and all that kind of stuff. I'm not about it. So if he wanted to talk lore, I think I would be down. If he wanted to talk about consistencies and accuracies to the lore and where it struggles there, absolutely. But I'm not in it for some bigger ideological, cultural thing. So, yeah. Real fast, I did... Especially before he comes on, I did want to address this. Nerd of the Rings is not paid by Amazon, my friends. Nerd of the Rings is... Sure, he took these opportunities to go out to London or to go to California, and he of his own volition, he went to the Comic-Con, that's what it's called, and things like that. But, take that as you will, him going to these events, fair enough, have your opinion about that. But he himself is not bought out by Amazon. He's a good guy. He's a friend of mine. He and I disagree on parts of the show, absolutely, and you're going to have that. But he's a good friend of mine, and, don't forget to show him some respect, too. I can say that as a friend of his, he's not bought by Amazon. None of my friends, these other Tolkien creators, are. They're just trying to do their thing, So I would cut them some slack if you could. Adam Stalla, thank you so much for the super chat. If you were to live in any realm in Middle-earth between elves, men, or dwarves, why? Probably men, Arnor, Evendim, if I'm getting specific, but near Lake Nunuiel as a ranger of the Dunedain, with my family and friends nearby, but perhaps a little bit scattered throughout Eriador, so I could make the journey and visit them as a ranger. Robert Daniel Picard, thank you so much for the super chat. Refusing the call. Refusing. Do you mean with Valinor? Yeah, that's. Yeah, Nerdrotic is a fan of my channel and content, and I absolutely appreciate what he does for sure. And much respect to Nerdrotic, but I do have to say that he associates more with talking about these cultural topics and how things tie together there. I'm not so much about that. I'm very concerned with this show in particular, with narrowing in on Rings of Power and looking at that holistically. Honorable Viking, hey, Men of the West, I'm about to start teaching history. That is awesome, buddy. Well, best of luck to you. I hope your students are kind to you, and I hope you find a really nice cohort of teachers and a nice school that fits. That's awesome. Yeah, no, Eli, yeah. I watched Nerd of the Rings for a while. Seems like a swell guy. Absolutely. He's a great guy. Again, he's going to jump on this live stream soon enough. I just started this way too early. But, Grimdark, would you ever go on Mahler's podcast? They're friends with Nerdrotic, but don't talk politics. Yeah, Mahler, Critical Drinker, great guys, shout out to them and their content. Even though I'm sure we have disagreements and things like that. But if it was just to talk about Rings of Power or content there, that could be a really, really great... that could be a really great conversation. So, Jeremy Seitz, you appreciate Nerdrotic. WTF. I appreciate him as I appreciate really any content creator. I guess I should say. I don't know. He said kind things to me. I can tell he has an appreciation for Tolkien's lore. I don't have a reason. Again, as Yoyston, as Men of the West, I'm not involved in this culture war. I just reject it. I'm not involved in it. So I'm here to talk Tolkien. I'm here to do all that kind of stuff. I'm not here to take sides or whatever. So I have disagreements with Nerdrotic, but I have disagreements with many YouTubers and with many content creators. And as long as people stay respectful to each other, great. You know, and I know Nerdrotic has perhaps said some disrespectful things, and I don't agree with that, like, towards even friends of mine and everything like that. I think he's wrong there, but, yeah, you know, shout out to his content and what he does. Again, this doesn't mean I agree with everything he says, but I can respect him as another YouTuber, and, yeah, I don't know. I don't see how that's a problem, perhaps. But don't get me wrong, Nerd of the Rings is a good man, it seems. Just being upfront with the finances is nice. I'll be honest, I don't think that's really anyone's business. The finances. I don't know. So, yeah, Grimdark. All right, cease the politics now before I start issuing warnings. Yeah, that's it. I just wanted to say my piece. Like, for some reason, Rings of Power has been really heated, and okay, I don't know. I just want a good show. I don't really care about the rest. So, yeah, let's keep politics out. So. Sarah Hassan, what do we think episode 4 will be focused on? I think we're getting a return to Moria, a return to whatever, I think it was probably Mithril, what was in that box, but, we'll probably get a return to them, a return, I think, to Numenor, because they teased Tar Palantir, so. Yeah, thanks for, the respect and understanding, Fet Main. I appreciate that. Wait, the General Grievous. You said hello there. Am I supposed to say General Grievous to you? Like, how am I supposed to respond to that? Okay, I really need to figure this LOTRO thing out here. Okay, it's like the past. How I've done this in the past. I swear, my Patreon and my Discord is like half just my tech support, but. Okay, I guess I could do a display capture. Oops, didn't like that. No, the other one. Yes, there we go. And so if I've got that up. There we go. Let's go. All right, we've got some Lord of the Rings online. That took me way, way too long. Sorry about that. So I'm just on Arkenstone for now, but when Matt and Zollin get here, we'll jump over to Crick Hollow, I believe. Okay, cool. I don't know if the sound is going through too. Sheesh, the sound isn't even going through. Properties. That should be. Whatever. Let me know if the sound is bothering anyone. Yeah, sorry. I again, for anyone, Angel, I'm getting Battlefield with PTSD again. Honestly, though, I'm so sorry. I'm so horrible with this tech stuff. No audio yet. Yeah, they've got to connect to the cliffhanger telling us more about Adar. Probably, but at the same time, they had that cliffhanger of like, ooh, the dwarves have this thing in the chest, and then they just ignored it. What sound? Sound for Lord of the Rings Online. Oh, no. Okay. Let's see. Properties. Default. Let's go. Speakers, I guess. Goodness. So they updated OBS, and of course that threw everything off. But, yeah, I probably can't even blame it. It's probably me. I don't get why... It's lucky I love you, Yoyston. Thank you so much. Love you too, Angel. Let's go to... We'll pause on the Prancing Pony. It's better than just the middle of the street. And that's where we'll try to fix this. I think I might know what the problem is. Just a guy with a stick. Hey, you know, Michael, the men of Bree were not that rich, okay? You know, that's how it happens. So, we'll, it's funny. I'll probably have to turn that real fast so I can do this. So I can send the audio through my headphones. And then display capture. No, okay, that worked. That worked a little bit. Okay, I'll turn that up as far as I can. Really professional stuff here from Men of the West. It's probably, oh, you know, let me turn this up too. I turned the music volume down so I don't get copyright claimed. I'm not too worried about it, but you never know. Okay, is that better? Can people hear Lord of the Rings Online? Alex, yeah, it would be fun to do. Oh, Friday night tights, but I don't think that'll happen. I thought you said Friday night just like live streams. I don't know. Honestly, my time is eaten up a lot these days. Oh, I'm on alt on Arkenstone right now if you want to add me. Yeah, Grimdark, throw your name in the chat. If anyone's on Arkenstone right now, let me know and I'll add you to Fellowship. Maybe we can do something really fast. Eli, I'm surprised Lord of the Rings Online has been going on for so long. I've been watching Star Trek Online, and the stories and the lore there is pretty freaking crazy and cool. Yeah, no, I love this game. As any longtime viewer, or even probably short-time viewer of the channel can tell, I love this game. It's a big reason that I got into the lore really in the first place. Oh, shout out, Bloodborne just came online. Shout out to Bloodborne, another Lord of the Rings Online channel, if you want to check him out. But yeah, it was a big introduction for me to Tolkien's works, and it's still like kind of my happy place for sure. Very much so. I sent you an invite. Let me know if you get it. Jerome, Zachariah. There he is. I'm in the Prancing Pony if you wanted to come over here. Here's Mr. Barliman. Alright, sorry. I'm all over the place right now. Oh, Jerome, feel free to say that again. I was excited about your question. Gamekeeper, hey, I'm playing Shadow of Mordor on PS3. That's awesome. Yeah, fun. The lore isn't great, but if you can ignore the lore and just have fun with the game. Oh, big time, Grimdark. OBS therapy needed? Yes. Absolutely. No, they changed everything, and of course, this is what I was going to spend this time doing, like, not live, was fixing my settings, but, yeah, whatever. Oh, online, yeah, FNT is a show fighting on the front lines of culture war. Tread lightly, brother. Yeah, for sure. I'm not interested in things like culture war-y. Is there a modding community for LOTRO? From Michael. No, so since it's an online game, since it's an MMO, they control their code pretty tightly, but there was this other group that was a fan of the vanilla Lord of the Rings Online when it came out in 2007 that actually almost rebuilt the whole game from scratch. I believe the beta for Shadows of, what was it, Echoes of Angmar was what it was called, was about to go into production, but then Middle-earth Enterprises shut it down because they didn't have the IP to it. But, which is, I mean, yeah, like, you gotta do things legitimately, you know, you can't just kind of do things, especially when it comes to Tolkien's works. I've said this before, but I'm surprised that YouTube, like, that I can actually talk about the Silmarillion stuff that I talk about on YouTube without Middle-earth Enterprises kind of being like, that's not okay. So, yeah, yeah, we'll see. I mean, Lord of the Rings, that'd be cool to have a vanilla version. Tyler Lund, thanks so much for the super chat. Hey, man, just wanted to let you know you're great. Thanks for being you. Thanks for being you, Tyler. It means a lot, man. And Tyler was the one who designed the the intro. I actually think I have this here. It should work. So Tyler designed this for the channel, and it's amazing. I absolutely love it. You're amazing too, Tyler. Thank you so much, man. Abe Player, thank you so much for the donation. Thank you so much for this channel and the extraordinary content. I thought I was a devoted fan, but I gained insight beyond measure through your deep analysis and understanding of Tolkien's works. Thanks so much. I'm glad to hear that. And to be honest, there's still so much that I have yet to learn. You know, in comparison to many of the Tolkien scholars and professors out there and stuff like that, like I have a lot left to learn, which is exciting. It definitely is very interesting to me to learn more about Middle-earth. For anyone showing up expecting Matt from Nerd of the Rings or Zollin from Voice of the Rings, I'm sorry they'll be joining us here soon. For anyone who's new, I accidentally started this live stream like an hour early, so it happens. Alex, Men of the West is the gold standard for Lord of the Rings channels. Thank you so much. It means a lot. Means a lot for sure. I'm definitely not the best when it comes to certain things like editing or whatever it is, but and that's okay, right? For me, it's definitely about the lore and all of that. But I think there are a lot of gold standard channels out there for Lord of the Rings. Definitely, like not just mine or anything like that. So. Tyler Lund, yes sir, you're the best, my boy. Happy to help. Thanks so much, man. That's an hour more of Men of the West content, Tee. Thanks. Yeah, that's true. I was like, you know, I should probably live stream and talk to my friends here because I haven't done that in a while. So too bad I have no characters in Crick Hollow. Maybe I could use an XP boost to catch up quickly. Yeah, if you have any characters on the server Honor, you could actually transfer that character for free to Crick Hollow and then join us that way. I'm not sure if you do, but that's actually something I did for other characters. Alex, take the compliment, Men of the West. LOL. Thanks. Sky Smash. Rings of Power is good. Change my mind. I don't want to change your mind. If you like it, that's awesome. I'm curious though, if you want to tell me like what's your favorite parts, why do you like it, maybe some of the positives that you have against the criticisms. It'd be interesting to hear. Do you think Ents will be a factor in any of the seasons for Rings of Power from Vito? I imagine so, because they had that shot of the Ents when the meteor came down. Yeah, I probably, maybe not pivotal, maybe not this like major role, but I imagine we do see them. Are you a fan of Skyrim? Very much so. Yeah, I've got some Lord of the Rings mods whenever I play Skyrim, like Strider's Sword. It's awesome. It's sweet. Raspy Squares. Nerd and Voice are coming in 20 minutes. Totally understand if you want to come back when they do. I started this very early, so... Oh, wait, somebody came in and sat down. Hello. Oops. Midnight's Oblivion, Men of the West. What are your criticisms for Rings of Power? Overall, if I were to boil it down, I would say it's rather, not always, rather inconsistent within the rules of its own, like, in the logic of its own universe so far. It definitely suffers from the show, don't tell sort of thing. They do a lot of telling. They tell us why we should care, but not show us why we should care. A lot of it feels somewhat rushed, but then all of a sudden slowed down. Like, simultaneously, I'll watch... Episode 2 for me was really rough with this because it really focused on the Harfoots, which in my opinion is the weakest of the 4 major plot lines. And it's like the pacing is really all over the place. Sometimes we'll just have a character go from A to B just because they need to. Sometimes, though, it'll just be drawn out for 20 minutes of Harfoot content that I don't really care for. So, Heathen Rohirrim, welcome to the Dwarves. Thank you so much for signing up. Oh, that means a lot. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Is this sound coming out of my speakers? Okay. My settings are all over the place. Again, YouTube told me I was live, and I'm like, okay, sounds good. Thanks, YouTube. No, it's definitely my fault. I did things in the wrong order, I think. Angel, the first 2 episodes were really jerky and tired of the Harfoot content. Like, it gets good, and then boom, back to Harfoots. That's what I'm saying. I think it's Hello Future Me the other day. Yeah, on the Philosopher Games live stream. Where, maybe it was Roy. No, I think it was Roy. I've talked to so many people about the show. It's all kind of running together, but it's like in the same show that you have Harfoots just kind of giggling and bumbling about. Like 20 minutes later, you see the brutal intestines of an elf ripped out by a warg, and it's like, whoa, wow, tonally inconsistent. Nah, I reject that, JD. Men of the West with Nerd of the Rings, Men of the West true fan, and Nerd of the Rings complete chill. No. We talked earlier. Nah, Nerd of the Rings is my friend. He's a good guy. I know he wasn't bought by Amazon. I know all that's fake. So he's a good guy. We have different opinions on things, but as anyone would. Shout out to my friend Matt from Nerd of the Rings. So, yeah, for any of those who are joining now, thanks so much for coming. Great, I accidentally started my live stream. Yeah, no, it's been great to catch up with you all. It's awesome. And honestly, for like all of you guys to be able to hop on, even though there's like really no announcement, so thank you so much. Josh Chambers, thank you all for the content you make. Been watching your channel for years. Question, would it make you nervous or excited if the Tolkien estate sold film rights to the Silmarillion? Oh, both. Yeah, no, Josh, that's a great question. I would totally say both, because it depends on who they're selling it to. If they sold the Silmarillion rights to Disney, man, I'd need to like take a walk, a long walk in the rain. I'd need some tears, right? Some like really sad music. That would break me down. I would be scared. I would be in arms. I would be upset if it was Disney that bought the rights to Silmarillion. Not only because they would destroy it like they've kind of done a couple other things, but because Tolkien himself didn't ever want Disney to have their hands on it. So, same with Amazon too. I wouldn't want Amazon to have it, but I think if it was a proper studio, if we knew the people, if Tom Shippey was on the project, this Tolkien scholar of immeasurable knowledge, if he was on the project for actually the entirety of it, and it didn't seem like, oh, he left the project for some reason, let's go. Like, that's awesome, right? Things like that. I would need to see things like that, and then I'd be very, very happy. Darth Psychotic. My favorite character so far is the Naked Man. I live in Florida, by the way. Hey, Bloodborne. Good to see you, man. Bloodborne, actually, Matt from Nerd of the Rings, myself, and Zollin from Voice of the Rings will be on Crick Hollow later if you happen to want to join us. So, why is this coming through my speakers? I like how I said that and I just didn't do anything about it. Just don't want to cause an echo. Let me see here. Is the audio still? Yeah, it's still coming through. Okay, we're good. Let's see here. Yeah, no, the episode is not out yet. It'll be out at 12 Eastern Standard. Yeah, King of the Noldor. I wish they would put this game in a better engine and give it a remake. A full remake would be rough. I love this game. even in the kind of wonky state that it can be in, the bugs that it might have on its old engine. But I would love it if there was some sort of soft remake of like, we're going to improve this, or we're going to transfer what we have to a better engine to where when you walk up to Minas Tirith, it doesn't just crash. Things like that, so. Adam Stalla, which is your favorite Valar or Maiar? In terms of Maiar, I have to say Gandalf. I have to say Aloran. He embodies many of the virtues that I enjoy, that I appreciate. And if I was putting Gandalf aside, since he's an obvious choice, Eonway's pretty cool. The Herald of Manwë, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, the prologues in the game are my favorite part. The High Elf one during the Battle of Dagorlad is so cool. Yeah, see, yeah, I wouldn't want this game to change too much, and I'm okay with it being on a worse engine if it means that it stays how I've known it, but that's just a nostalgic person saying nostalgia. Favorite Vala? For the memes, Tulkas. I do have a picture of Tulkas hanging in my garage right now. Next to a picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Ronnie Coleman. So for the memes, but for actuality, Olmo. Olmo, because he was last to give up on the Free Peoples, I think. There's always some mercy for sure. Tulkas does some nice P90X clearly. He is my workout motivation angel. Yeah, Fet Main the Third. I just can't stomach the Rings of Power content that's put out now. Just doesn't match me and how I feel. Yeah, no, I totally understand. Yep. That's what I'm saying, Amira. Young Arnold Schwarzenegger as Tulkas. Let's go! Yes! Love the content. A++. Thank you so much, Supernova Blast. Means a lot. Let's see here. Just trying to make sure I'm not missing anyone. Manwë the Manly. Oh, okay. I'm not going to read your name out loud, but do you know where I can find some info about Tolkien and Christopher Lee's meeting back in the day? It's a great question. I know Christopher Lee has talked about it, so maybe an interview with him or like something like that. Maybe just look up Christopher. Like I don't know if it's really written in like a book or a memoir or anything like that, but if it is, it's probably in Christopher Lee's memoir if he has one. So. Chris Hemsworth could be a good Tulkas. Yeah, I think because we've already seen him in a role like it with Thor, and also Thor Love and Thunder broke me down. But hey Grimdark. I don't know about him just because he's getting older and that means probably less muscle and stuff. But I'm just thinking like you take this bodybuilder, you take a Chris Bumstead, and you're like, here you go. Just like be Tulkas and Chris Bumstead is Tulkas. Let's go. That'd be awesome. I don't know. You guys can see how much of a nerd I am for so many things. For so many things. So thoughts. Mission Mob. Thoughts on Galadriel's single-mindedness and lack of empathy. Yeah, it's very out of character. And like, there's one thing to say. A person should have a character arc where they learn virtues and all these things, but it's just something is very grating with that having be Galadriel. Galadriel is this old being, this wise being, and the show is playing into that. Fair enough. But then they're also showing her as like inept in some weird ways. Like she's politically just completely I don't know. She's not good at politics. I don't know the best way to describe that. But when she walked into Numenor and was just like completely offensive against these guys, I'm like, either your self-preservation is just complete trash, or there's something else going on. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it, to be sure. Honorable Viking, I'm now a patron men of the West. Glad to support your channel. Thank you for the countless comforting lore videos and staying true to Tolkien all these years. Thank you, man. That means a lot. Thanks for joining our Patreon. I'll talk to you on the Discord server hopefully soon. Hey, Elaine, Nerd Cookies, how's it going? Good to see you. Michael, Rings of Power should follow the POV of Elrond. I think that's actually what the argument Matt has made. Yes. Yeah, oh my gosh, there's too many people. I think it was maybe Helen, maybe it was Matt. Error, YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Uh-oh. Okay, well, let me know if it gets too laggy and I might have to restart the stream. Which is hilarious because we're actually coming up on when I would have originally started it. Yoyston, love your episode discussions. It finds the middle ground between constructive criticism and lore faithfulness. Keep up the great work. Thanks so much. I'm glad. Glad to hear that. I'm trying to keep it as balanced as possible, so... just kind of moving around to make sure that my live stream hasn't cut off yet. Let me know if you all can hear me still in the chat and everything. Joseph, good to see you. Now would be a good time to insert ads. Thanks, YouTube. I'm good though. Thanks. I think the lag, you know, if I threw in an ad during lag, no, I'm okay. Thanks. Seems fine now. Okay, it might just be a temporary thing, but just let me know if it continues. It's a bit harsh so far, Galadriel's character arc. I'm hoping for a more focused character arc for sure. Nerd Cookies, there's a new expansion coming out, right? Yes. I'm so glad you know. That's awesome. Yes. What's it called? Before the Shadow. It's a really interesting take on an expansion because it's a mini expansion set at the beginning of the game. Usually expansions like, you know, change the level cap at the end of the game, but this one's going to be like levels 1 through 32. We get Cardolan, we get Tharbad, the Númenórean port along the river. My gosh, what river is that along? Gwathlo, the Gwathlo River. But it's... oh, no. Triggered motion sickness. That's not good. Love to see a conversation between some level-headed critical thinkers like you guys and some of those who have totally dunked on the show, don't understand why this has happened. YouTube wants you to put on the ad ring. Yeah, honestly, they're just going to lag me out unless I give them an ad. So, no. Thanks, Alex. Thanks for letting me know. What is happening? No. For you. Okay, alright, Grimdark. I'll just say hi to World Chat. I'm not somebody who likes to flex like that, so hi everyone. Hope you all are well tonight. Yondershire, you're lagging. No. Here, okay, what I'll go ahead and do. Oh, well, people are gonna start responding to me in World. Oh, okay. Oh, they're ready. Oh my goodness.
Gotta jump on it.
Yeah.
So are you live? We're live right now on your channel?
Yep, live right now on my
Awesome.
channel. If you guys need to like mute to do intros on your channel or whatever, just feel free to do that.
Oh, I'm good. I'm just on my second channel, so I'm just gonna go live.
All right.
There's only like seven. There's only like seven people.
I'll go live on your side.
That's good. All right, I'm gonna hop over to Crick Hollow now.
Yeah.
Let's see. Everyone in the chat, say hi to Matt and Zollin from Nerd of the Rings and Voice of the
Hey
Rings.
guys.
Oh.
I'm so pumped. It's been way too long since I've played LOTRO.
I know.
Yeah,
I've been
absolutely.
so hoping to play with you guys again. I had so much. All right, I'm gonna mute. Right back.
Full night headed to...
If I forget, Yoyston, your character is human? Is that right? Are you a human character, a ranger?
Oh yeah, I'm a human. Lore master. Yes.
Nice.
Human lore master. Yep. Let's see here. Okay, I've got that down. Okay, time to.
Now, how often do you play, Yoiston?
Oh, as much as I can. Just it's a great way to just relax. I haven't played too much this year. I'm wanting to play more when the mini expansion comes out, because we're gonna get like a whole ton of new quests from level 1 through 32, I think. Yep. Oh yeah, Boromir walking instead of having a horse.
Yeah.
Zollin, I think you're a little quiet. If you want to turn yourself up a little bit, maybe I just sound you a little quiet.
Mike is just.
Oh, okay.
Turn me up and just up my. I already at 200.
Oh yeah, that's a. Let me check.
Pull me up.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me pull.
I'm using a focus bright with like.
Yeah.
Like have like 3 or 4.
Yeah, that's fair.
We're all gonna go crazy.
Let me see how far into this live stream
we meet.
Oh yeah. And what level is your character, Matt? I forgot.
15 it looks like.
I forget what. Was I just walking around?
I think so. Yeah.
I think I was. I guess I'll just come up.
I'm in Howthlin.
Howthlin. Wait, can anyone hear me? My stream might have crashed.
Oh no.
Sounds about right. If it did. Let's see. Quick call. I use OBS Studio. So it's all over the place. They just like updated it, so it's awful. Let me see.
You know, I waited to update it. It's telling me to update. I'm like,
don't.
I refuse. I refuse to update. You'll ruin my game.
Yeah, honestly.
Matt was having a similar issue. Probably.
Yeah, I was having issues with Streamlabs. I've been attempting to use Streamlabs.
Oh yeah.
It was not recognizing the game, and then the audio for the game wasn't coming through, and oh hey,